This video will show you how to remove all aftermarket upper glass and replace it with Boost Auto Parts glass offered at boostautoparts.com. All aftermarket glass will go ahead and snap right off. So here we have 4.5-inch backing glass found on our website that we're going to be replacing here. So just go ahead and take your 4 fingers on the left here, put your thumb on the side bezel, and do the same with your other hand across like that. 4 fingers under, thumb on the side bezel there, and just go ahead and pry up. It'll pop right off. Then just go ahead and remove the signal on glass wire on the back here, as well as the defrost pins right there.
Here we have the new 4.5-inch glass with backing with the signal on glass and defrost from boostautoparts.com. Now you want to go ahead and replace those 3 stabilization pins. We do recommend replacing these with the stabilization pins offered with Boost Auto Parts glass, but if you did not get replacement pins, you can reuse your old ones.
To add these stabilization pins, it's super simple. You just go ahead and find the tab for the stabilization pin. Take the pin here, you just go ahead and slide it in all the way. Go ahead and repeat that. There will be 3 pins per piece of glass here. Just go ahead and slide them all the way in. Make sure these all slide into the tabs right here when you're installing this on the mirror. Now if you have Boost Auto Parts mirrors, the signal on glass here as well as the defrost will go ahead and plug right into the back of the glass here. Just go ahead and plug those in. Plug in your signal on glass and your defrost right here. Now if you do not have Boost Auto Parts mirrors, you'll have these 2 adapters right here coming with this 4.5-inch glass. You'll just go ahead and install this one for the signal on glass and this one for the defrost as shown here. First thing you want to do is you'll go ahead and take the heat shrink included in that kit there, and you'll just go ahead and slide this over your current defrost terminals just like so. Just make sure you slide it all the way down as far as it can go so that the terminal is exposed. You want to do this on both your defrost wires there. Now you just go ahead and take the defrost adapter that you got in your kit, take the 2 male ends here, just go ahead and slide those each into the female end on the mirror. Just like so. Just go ahead and slide that heat shrink up over that just enough so that it covers it. And we'll go ahead and heat shrink that down just to make sure everything's properly protected. The top 2 terminals here, this is for our lower defrost kit. If you have our lower defrost kit, you can go ahead and use these now. If not, you'll just want to go ahead and tape these 2 terminals off here. So just go ahead and tape off the end here. Just go ahead and wrap it. Now that you have this defrost adapter heat shrunk and taped up, you just go ahead and insert the proper terminal onto the back of this 4.5-inch glass, just like so. Go ahead and make sure both are fully seated onto the glass here, just like that. Now with this glass, you'll also have the signal on glass adapter here. So this end, the smaller end, is just going to plug right into the back side of the glass, just like that. And this end here is going to go directly to the connector that you have existing on the mirror here, so just go ahead and plug those in. Now when installing these stabilization pins, you're focusing on the 3 guides just like this one here. Now this stabilization pin will want to slide fully down on the inside of this guide here in order for the mirror to seat properly. It does not want to go on top or behind the guide here. This stabilization pin will need to slide on the inner part of the guide for all 3 stabilization pins on your upper glass. When you go to install this glass, you'll want to make sure all these wires get fully tucked down beside the motor and do not stick on top of the motor here. This is very important to make sure that the glass fully seats on properly. So as you can tell, we've tucked all these to the side of the motor here.
Then you can go ahead and press down because this is a press fit design. Once you hear it snap in, you can rotate it, make sure everything is fully locked in. Here we are working with 3.5-inch backing with signal.
The first thing to do to remove, these are press fit designs. So first, just going to angle this all the way up here. Go ahead and put 4 fingers underneath with your thumb over. 4 fingers underneath here with your thumb over. Go ahead and pry right up. It'll come right off. You want to disconnect the defrost and the signal on glass terminals, just like so. Set this off to the side.
Now go ahead and take your new Boost Auto Parts glass here and go ahead and insert your stabilization pins. We do recommend replacing the stabilization pins every time you replace the glass just because they do become brittle over time. So if you got them from Boost Auto Parts, just go ahead and add the new stabilization pins. Now if you didn't get new replacement pins, you can reuse your old ones. If you ordered glass and selected not Boost Auto Parts mirrors, you'll get this pigtail with your glass shown here. This pigtail is for non-boost mirrors that don't utilize the same connector as our glass.
First thing you want to do is cut off your existing signal on glass connector as shown here, just like so. Now you want to strip off both wires inside the mirror from which you previously cut. So let's go ahead and strip both ends off as shown here. This blue wire will be your light input and the black wire will be your ground. You just want to match these up with the corresponding wires on your mirror.
And you want to go ahead and splice the pigtail in using the corresponding wire colors.
Now that you have the new stabilization pins in, you just go ahead and plug back in the signal on glass here. And just go ahead and plug in defrost. Now that those are all plugged in, you just want to make sure these stabilization pins are lined up with the 3 slots going around the motor there. The 3 curved surfaces or slots. You just go ahead and line those up and install this back onto the mirror.
This glass is a press fit design, so you just want to line it up and then go ahead and press down directly in the center of the glass. You'll hear it snap on, and then you can kind of rotate the glass just like so, showing that it's fully snapped in.
And as you can tell, that is now fully installed and you're ready to go.
Here we'll be showing you how to install the glass only onto aftermarket and OEM backings for your mirrors.
Now, as you can see, we have a crack right down the middle of the upper glass, so we're going to go ahead and remove that to begin with, and then we'll be removing the glass from the backing.
Now you'll want to go ahead and remove the upper glass. If you have aftermarket mirrors, you'll just go ahead and pull up on it and it will snap off as shown here.
If you have OEM mirrors, be sure to reference our OEM upper glass video for removal.
Go ahead and unplug the defrost and signal and glass if you have it, and of course be careful not to cut yourself.
Now we need to remove the glass from the plastic backing. To do this, we're going to use a putty knife and a heat gun. Be careful not to use too much heat, as you can damage the plastic backing. While doing this, also be careful not to cut your hands on the glass that is already broken. Now while you're doing this, of course, make sure not to damage any of the defrost connections. Now here you can see Boost Auto Parts does carry 2 different kinds of this glass without the backing. The side on the left has the holes for the signal and glass as well as the defrost sign. The side on the right is just the glass. If you do have signal and glass, just go ahead and use a heat gun to remove the signal and glass light from your old piece of glass and glue it onto the back of the new piece of glass. Now you're simply going to get your new piece of glass and glue it onto the backing. Here we're going to be using a hot glue gun. You can use whatever you'd like to connect it. Now we're going to go ahead and put the new glass on with the old backing. It's just going to snap onto the upper mount. The only thing that you really need to take note of is there are 3 stabilization pins on the back of the glass. You just need to make sure those 3 stabilization pins go inside these 3 markers right in here. So we'll just go ahead and do that and snap it right back in.
If you have OEM mirrors, be sure to reference our OEM upper glass video.
And just like that, we've replaced our upper glass on our 2015 style tow mirror.
To get all the parts shown in this video and more, please reference boostautoparts.com.